Many tradesmen think that Facebook ads and Google ads are a complete waste of time, energy, and money. And honestly, I can understand why. But what if I told you that this year alone, that I've helped my home improvement clients generate over £3 million in revenue? Just this year, just using paid ads on those two platforms. Now, it's £3 million. It clearly wasn't luck, but it did come down to understanding a few critical factors that separate businesses that thrive from those that struggle. And today I'm going to share one of the biggest game changers in this video when it comes to paid ads. And it's something that most people ignore entirely. And it is one of the avenues of lead quality, which obviously has many different factors. But don't worry, there's going to be no fluff in this video. I'm even going to provide the exact document that we give to our clients that helps them solve this problem. And I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And that thing is the follow-up process. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. What does lead quality actually have anything to do with my follow-up process? But from our experience, a lot. In fact, it can even make your ad campaigns wildly profitable compared to actually losing money. So with what I'm going to show you in a minute is a guide on how to effectively follow up with your leads. Now, I'm just going to share a quick example before I begin from one of our clients. So we ran some ads for them. We're generating a good number of leads, but they just weren't getting through to a lot of them. The first thing we did was dive into their actual follow-up process. It turns out they were phoning the lead. Then after that, if they didn't reply, they would leave a voicemail. And then we were like, okay, so what do you do after that? And it turns out they were actually just ringing that lead one more time. Now, there's a few problems with this as a whole. I don't listen to voicemails anymore. I know a lot of people do, but in my head, if someone is actually serious that they need me, they will just ring me again. And I've asked so many people that kind of follow this mentality. And that is often just because of the just wild amount of spam calls that we receive on a weekly basis. And that's the same with phone calls. If someone rings me, 9 times out of 10, unless I recognise the number, I will hang up first and then Google the number just in case it's a scam call, which happens far too often, and so many people do. And it's again the same case. If it's a serious call, they're going to ring me again. So if we don't have an adequate follow-up sequence in place, people are just more than likely going to ignore you. So the main things that we need to do in the first place is 1, build trust, and 2, be authentic. So in terms of not throwing your money down the drain, I'm going to jump into our Miro board that we give to clients, and then I'll talk through everything you need to do to follow up with your leads effectively. Right, so let's get straight into the Miro board that we give to our clients, which if you implement into your business is going to help you close more deals, get more revenue in there. So to start with, for someone to become a lead, they're going to have to give you their contact information. Now, this could be through any medium at all. It could be through them submitting the form on your website. It could be them filling out a Facebook lead form or filling out the form on a landing page. So for this, let's say someone has filled in a Facebook lead form. At that point, the data would automatically get passed into our client's CRM. Now, I know tradesmen love pen and paper too much, quite old school, but realistically, if you can afford with a CRM, which some are quite cheap nowadays, just for efficiency reasons, for speed to lead, which is how fast you contact the lead, you're going to want to actually upgrade to using a CRM rather than pen and paper. So at this point, we get an automated text sent to the lead, and an automated text gets sent to our client with the lead's info on. Now, why is this initial text important? Well, a significant 78% of customers actually purchase from the company that responds to their inquiry first. So we're trying to warm the lead up a bit here immediately. So what we then suggest to do is call that lead immediately. You've got an instant text to your phone. We can call this lead within 30 seconds. And according to another study, there's a 391% increase in lead conversions when you respond to that lead within 1 minute. Now, through these automations, you are capable of actually contacting that lead within the first minute. This is when the leads just fill the form out, they're most excited, they're thinking about it because they've literally just seen it. They don't have any opportunity to forget that they filled the form in, to lose interest in the service you're providing. Effectively, their dopamine around your service is at their highest, and that's the entire point of Facebook as a platform. So if they don't answer, ring them again immediately, because this will bypass Do Not Disturb, and it will make it more trustworthy that it isn't a spam call. Now, remember when I said earlier that if it's important, they will ring again? This completely solves that factor. And then if they don't answer that time, just then leave a voicemail. Now, obviously, some people will listen to it, some people won't, but we're covering all bases here. After that, we want to send text or WhatsApp message if the lead isn't reachable via phone. Now, if you're in the UK, I would recommend WhatsApp because that's got a significantly higher response rate than a regular text message, just because we get very little spam through WhatsApp in this country. If you're in the US, WhatsApp's not so big of a thing. So in those cases, then we're going to send a text message. Now, on day one, based on the time the leads get submitted, we want to try to call at least 2 more times. Now, obviously, if the lead submits the lead at 4:55 and your shop shuts at 5, then we probably aren't going to be able to call them 2 more times. But if the time allows, say they submit the form at 10 in the morning, then we're going to want to try and call them 2 more times, just at different times throughout the day, just because they might be busy at some time and not busy on others. And the main other reason for this is from another study, which I'll find a link in the caption. 30% of customers, if they're not contacted within the first day, will just go to a competitor. So then on day 2, there's the source. So in day 2, we're going to want to call in the morning. And if they don't answer, just send them a message and then call them again in the afternoon. Now, you may think this is a lot, but the intent level of that lead is at its highest for the first 5 days, especially in the first 2. And you're not technically harassing someone because they haven't actually replied to you. Obviously, if they'd replied and said no and you keep ringing them, then I will understand. But for now, you haven't got an answer, and this is all what we're aiming for. So to not seem like a stalker on day 3, then we're going to send a text or a WhatsApp just to remind the lead of the offer that you've put on your ad. So we're completely not calling them at all on day 3. On day 4, we want to call the lead twice again, morning and afternoon. And that's it. No texts on day 4. And then on day 5, we just want to call the lead and remind them of the limited time offer if they don't reply, whether that's through a text or a voicemail or even both. Absolutely fine. So on day 5, we want to look, was the call answered? So no, we want to send a text or a WhatsApp message. So this bit there, so that there is here. So after that, we want to wait 5 to 7 days. So we do absolutely nothing for 5 to 7 days after the 5th day. So after those days, we're going to call the lead again. And if there's no response, we text them again, just like that. And just remind them in this message that today is the last day to claim the offer. People do respond to urgency, and that there is what we're trying to actually push. Then after that, we're going to wait 2 more days doing nothing again. And then we're going to call the lead again. And if they don't pick up that time, we'll just send them a text or a WhatsApp message, just like below. And then we're going to leave them there. So in your CRM there, we're going to move the lead to a database reactivation column. Now, what that is, through various parts of the year, we will send out a sequence, whether that's email, WhatsApp, or text, to these people with a new offer. And although some people may have never answered in this whole sequence, and you're like, that is a completely dead lead, the database reactivation, if the offer is strong, will get some more people in. Because some people will have filled out your form but aren't actually ready to buy. Or in 3 months' time, they might be ready to buy. In 9 months' time, they might be ready to buy. But if you're using pen and paper and you just say dead lead and throw their contact information away, then it is, at that point, it is a dead lead because we're never going to contact them again. But remember, these people have given their contact information for you to contact them until they obviously say no. So it's really important to utilize a CRM to actually reactivate leads that never replied to you. And I'm going to cover that in another video. Now, this sequence will actually make you money. In the client I covered earlier who only actually called once, left a voicemail, and then called again, with an average order value of £2,000, they made over £100,000 in the next 3 months just off their ads when they were spending £1,000 a month. Now, I would love to hear anyone's experience if they decide to actually implement this in their business, because it does work, and I'm really confident that it will work for your business. So if you do try it, let me know in the comments how it's worked for you and what kind of experience you've had doing this.